All right, we live.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and those of the great millstone who rule well, and salutations to the hopeful elect who believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, in true faith, sincerity, and not for vain glory. All right, we are the prophets of the Lord. All right, we are the hopeful elect. We are out here to do our duty, which is to prophesy the downfall of this, uplift the people on this side. The elect of the people on this side who have ears to hear and the eyes to see that we are in the end times. Okay, while the people of this world, 2/3 of this world, are in today woman. All right, because today is so-called Valentine's Day, which go back to Lupercalia. All right, which is like a demon. We're gonna be into our woman. All right, which is these scriptures, this wisdom, because this woman will never leave us, man. All right, so with that, we're gonna do our job, and you got something?
As long as we do the right thing, you know, because the truth could leave you, you know, because what's that in Matthew? Matter of fact, get that in Matthew 13. Then we go to that. You know, if something is given to them, it is given, then it should be taken or taken away.
This is Matthew 13 in verse. I start at 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why unto them in parables?
Now, parable means to speak in a format that is cryptic. So when Yahushua was talking, he wasn't being direct. He was speaking in a cryptic format. So the disciples came to Yahushua and they asked him, like, Lord, why are you speaking in this cryptic form of language? I thought it was pretty like I thought he was here for Israel.
Right. It says, and he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the kingdom, to know the mystery of the kingdom of heaven.
Right. The kingdom of heaven first began with the knowledge of the Bible, and the mysteries of the understanding. Now, it says given unto you to understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, which is the scriptures. So he's making it clear to them they was meant to receive it, you know, the understanding. Go ahead.
But to them it is not given.
And the them was Israelites. He said to them it's not given. Go ahead.
For whatsoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whatsoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. So
the Lord could take away this knowledge from one man and give it to another man. You know, you could have this knowledge, and the Most High just make you start doubting. You know, you put the spirit of doubt, and you start certain parts of the doctrine, and then you start looking at certain doctrines and like, well, I think it truly means this, and little by little, you know, you start losing the knowledge, because usually what happens is a guy he may exit the camp, and another brother come in. That's usually how it works. We don't really use the camp signs like we normally used to. Like we used to have like at least 10, 20 signs. And it never felt, it used to be a one brother that makes signs, that guy will fall out, kicked out, whatever the case may be. And then it always was another came in and did signs, you know? So that's another brother taking office. Because what we involved with is the spirit. It's not of us. So, you know, the Holy Spirit got to be working with you. You know, so that's why we now here. What today is February 14th. We're not into the world. We're not trying to please our woman that's of the world. We out here, you know. We out here doing the work. So, well, the reason we out here is through the Spirit. Now, right before we started up, you know, it was a man with a suede fur jacket. And it was like about two women walking with him, and he is giggling and laughing, and I couldn't really make out what they were saying, but what I did make out was him saying, "You're a black man," it's like he was making mockery of the Israelites, and then the woman with him was laughing like hyenas, and the way she was laughing, like tears was coming out of her eyes, like she couldn't breathe, like that's how funny it was. And, you know, we're not mad at it. It is what it is. Because, look, like we say, playtime is over. And, like, we live in a time of the end, you know? You know, we're in a time of Jacob's trouble. Right?
That was it.
You got something else?
I got something that came to mind, the scripture in Ezekiel where it says, should we then make mirth?
Yeah, let's get that then. So we're in that time, you know, and we don't have to say it's coming. It's here, and it's just going to escalate.
Okay.
You know, it's just not mandated because there's people already with that MOTB already for years, but the system have not been it haven't been fully implemented. You know, they haven't created that system yet. They haven't mandated on the earth because it's going to be a global thing. It's going to be a global mandation. The ones that have it now, they receive it. But the time that's coming is going to be mandated. And it's going to be incentivized before the mandation. It's still going to be, because what they're going to do, the first ones to receive see it, they're going to incentivize these people first. You know, they're going to incentivize the ones that's gullible, and then the ones that don't just run to receive it, then they're going to start blocking them out the system. You know, taking away things. They can't work. They can't get access to their account. And they're going to put the squeeze on them, and they're going to mandate it to the point where you're going to be labeled terrorist if you don't receive it. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 21 and verse 9. The point is in 10. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished.
The sword is talking about the thermonuclear missiles, and the sharpener is talking about how the technology is being upgraded. Those missiles. Before it would take around an hour to reach its target across the continent. Now it only takes about 30 minutes. Soon it's going to take 20. Okay?
It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter.
The sore slaughter is going to happen here in America. When you go to Isaiah the 34th chapter, it speaks about a great sacrifice in Bosra. Right?
It is furbished.
That it may glitter, because when the missiles are shot, it's gonna be glittering in the atmosphere. It's shot from a silo to hit its intended target.
It says, should we then make mirth?
Yeah, should we then make mirth, knowing that America's about it. All right, you being into your woman. All right, you trying to progress in this world, like that video the brother said of the Israelites out there building a community.
Oh yeah.
That spirit, that's the wrong spirit to be in. The scriptures talk about that we seek in the book of Hebrews. I believe the 11th or 10th chapter, one of those two, it talks about that we seek a better country, right? A better kingdom. Why are we out there building communities, man? Why are we trying to be, family men Israelites, man? Right? This is not the time for that. We're in war. We already got Amalek being exposed at an all-time high. And one of the things that they're exposing these people is that they have something called the Samson Project. Meaning that if they feel that their existence is threatened, they're going to just launch the missiles. They don't care about who goes down with them.
Yep. It says, should we then make mirth? It could then the rod of my son as every tree.
Yeah, so you got to be in that mindset, man, knowing what time that you're living in. And that's why the Lord set us up to remind you the times that we're living in. We're in the time of war, man. We're in the time of the second coming of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, right? The Savior of Israel, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, it's not the time to be into your woman. It's not the time to try to, get rich, try to be successful. All right, because we already know about the most successful people in this world, man. They're all demons. Okay, the riches are corrupted in this world.
That's Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Hold on. So for every time there's a season, right? So in other words, there's a purpose for everything. They're going to read on that.
Yep. It says to everything season.
You get me about time.
And a time to every purpose under heaven.
Right.
A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down, a time to build up.
Right, we're in a time of things breaking down. Because systematically, what this truth is doing is breaking down this country that was built of lies. So we have something, a system that was built of lies, was going to dismantle this lie is truth. Go ahead.
Yep. It says a time to kill. It's like, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh.
We're in the time of weeping. We in that time of weeping. And we're getting ready to see unemployment rise more than ever before. And people don't really see that happening. The job market is getting worse. The cost of living is rising, and that just creates desperate times. But right now, people don't really see it because they too busy being entertained. Too busy being entertained. Last Sunday was the Super Bowl. So, people was probably, having Super Bowl parties, watching it in a bar. But in reality, you can't escape reality. When the first of them come, you scrape it and try to, the money for the collection for the rent. That's when reality is going to kick in. You have your whatever money you have, you got to prioritize the necessities. Well, I have this much, but I need food. Do I really need Wi-Fi? Do I really need a gym membership? That's what it's gonna come down to. People have to start cutting back. And President Trump has promised for a while he'll give out the dividend check. But even with what he's offering was like $2,000. And what is that gonna do for you? It's not gonna do anything. What $2,000 gonna do for when rent is like they're at $3,000, pushing up to $2,500, and the base income for most Americans is $50,000-$60,000 a year. So paying a $2,000 rent is insane. Go ahead.
Yep. It says a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
Right now, we're not in the time of laughing, and we're not in the time of dancing. We're not in those times. We're in a time of Great Depression. Go ahead.
Verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to win.
And we're in a time of losing. Things to get lost. Like same thing for brothers. Like we might lose our jobs. We might lose a place of residence. Brothers might become homeless. That's when your faith is gonna be tested. Lose your girl, you lose your kids, lose your family. You might end up being isolated from everyone. You're gonna start feeling alone. This is the time we in. And Satan start to, attack the mind. Because then the thoughts start coming in. Is it really worth it? So we in a time of loss. Okay?
It says a time to sow and a time to keep silence and a time to speak.
And as long as you endure, you're gonna reap. I want to say tenfold. Like more than what you could even imagine. That's what we're gonna reap. In the kingdom, we're gonna be looking back like, damn, I was stressing over that shit. We're gonna look, man. We're gonna have large families. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna have property. We're gonna have more than your eyes could imagine. You're gonna be living in a palace. You're gonna have exotic animals, species of those Esau haven't even discovered yet. Like we can't imagine what the Lord got prepared for us. I'll be watching this guy, what's his name? He'll be on Joe Rogan. Give me 1 second.
Black dude?
Nah, he's a white dude. He just be going and he pretty much be in the Amazon a lot, and a lot of things he talk about is like species of animals that not been documented, or species of animals that they thought would be in this region. So I've listened to him. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. This is matter of fact. Let me check. I got it right here. Paul Rizzoli. That's
Rizzoli?
Yeah, Paul Rizzoli. And he be like, he's more like one of them guys that, you know, that research and be, you know, out in the Amazon. And he was talking about like a 30-foot, like he came up in a counter with a 30. He said he tried to grab it, and like him trying to grab, his arms could not, you know, reach over the whole snake. That's how big the snake was. He said it was an anaconda. One snake, he said, the realest people, you know, kept saying there's a snake with horns. And he was like, nah. He's like, nah, there's no snake with horns. And until he encountered himself, snake with horns. And that's just, we just, you know, see the, you know, the tip of the iceberg. Like what the Lord has out there, you know, species of animals that's the Most High created. You know, we're gonna be privy to these animals. And I do believe there's certain animals that the Most High have that's red. They're just red. They're not in large number. That's what Esau, he can't, he probably, like this one, I forget what it was. I forget what it was. I don't know. Because I be scrolling through YouTube and sometimes these shorts. And I believe it's a species of owl. They only caught an image of it once and never seen it again. That's how rare it is. You know, but Esau haven't even explored the whole earth. You know, imagine about how many species out there. You know? This same guy, he was going about like how there's certain parts of the Amazon that's, when you go high up in the tree, there's grass. There's grass and there's animals up there. You know, like, it's, he described like the Amazon as being like unsearchable.
Unsearchable, yeah.
So go ahead.
Can I something else real quick? Just going into that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start at, this is Sirach 43, and I'm gonna start at 25. It's going into the sea creatures. I'm gonna just jump down. It says, for then be strange and wondrous works, variety of all kinds of beasts and whales created.
Fred, get that again? That's a tough.
Yep. This is Sirach 43 and 25. For then be strange and wondrous works, variety of all kinds of beasts.
Right, those be like species.
Yeah. And whales created.
Right, and what is that again?
Sirach 43.
Now, I won't be surprised that the word if well could mean sea creature.
Yeah.
But that's what it means in Genesis, the first chapter. And it said the Most High created great wells.
Yeah.
The translation translated to, which is referencing towards Leviathan. But a variety of a lot of creatures, like they talk about Bigfoot. I believe they're just a species of ape. You know, you look at how many different species of there are. There's many, but it's just another ape. But it's probably just rare. Go ahead.
I'm gonna jump down to 31. Who have seen him that he might tell us, and who have magnified him as he is? There are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works.
But you haven't seen a few of them.
Yep.
And I was listening to this guy, same guy, right? One of the things he said was, it's so difficult for them to even explore it because, like, you could climb a tree, but then you're being attacked by, I forget what insect he said, but it's stinging you. You can't really do your job and collect information and data. So that they have to resort into like different, you know, machinery like robots and stuff like that, because they can't do it themselves. So limited as far as how they could research because it's just so much of a threat.
Yeah. This is Job 28:7. It says, there is a path which no fowl knoweth, and which the vulture's eye.
Right, that path is leading to different islands, different. You got caves. You got caves that have creatures, you know, they never seen before. The deeper they go in the water, they got creatures they never seen before. That.
Oh, that was.
So you know we're gonna be, you know, in the kingdom, we're gonna have information about these things, and you know we're gonna have exotic animals. We're gonna have everything we have is gonna be exotic. You know how the structure of how our palace is gonna be built. That's gonna be exotic. But that's something you have to suffer and wait for. You know, and we're approaching that time now. And what's comprised of the suffering is loss. So you had to go through pain to feel pleasure. Okay?
Romans 13.
Before you get to the finish that.
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, back at Ecclesiastes 3 and about verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
You know, we in a time of war. You know, like you go on YouTube, the algorithms is heavy on World War III. You know, and what's a world war? A world war is a conglomerate of proxy wars coming together. So we in a time of World War III. Go ahead.
That was it.
Go ahead.
This is Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time.
See, and that knowing the time. We in the time of the end. So now that we know the end is coming, the destruction is coming. Like, this is why I never understood. Like, you got these alphabet, it's like, they talk about, all right, the destruction, right? That's if they talk about it. But then they want to, then they talk about, you know, the building of communities. That's what you call it's a productive. If this place is going down, what the hell what is building a community have to do with something that's going down? That don't make any sense. You know, that same thing you're trying to build up is about to be destroyed. Don't be building up is the faith of the people that's up there like. That's it.
Right.
Because everything that's here is going to be destroyed and be taken down. Go ahead.
This is Romans 13:11. It says, and that knowing that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Right. So it's high time to wake up out of sleep. And it's not talking about physical sleep, it's talking about spiritual sleep. Because if you thinking, you know, we're gonna be here for another 10, 50 years, 20 years, and you got plan for long-term goals, short-term goals, you're asleep. And that means you're not really, you know, following what's happening in the world. You know, that MOTB system is, I can't even say slowly no more, it's fastly being set. You know, the stage is being set for that. So you believe here AI technology is speeding up at a rapid rate, and Esau's the devil. You think nothing's gonna come out of that?
Sure.
Look how fast. If all this happened within a few years, what do you think another 3 years will bring? 10 years will bring? That means you want to go in slavery and so there. You know, like there has to be an end. Everything has an end. That's why Scripture said there's a time for everything has an end. There's a time for you to sow, and then there comes the end of the sowing. You reap what you sow. There's a time you born, and there's a time you go back into the dirt. There's a time of happiness, and there's a time of sadness. You know, everything has an end. Don't believe me? What we think the weekend is.
Right.
You know, Sunday you get Monday anxiety.
Sure.
You know, you got to get back for the work day. It comes to an end. You got to go right back to work.
Friday, you excited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shit. So you thank God it's Friday. Then,
that's why they used to have that meme with Michael Jackson. That says Friday be like, and they show Michael Jackson, like he's dancing, he happy, and then Monday they show you the Michael Jackson. We have the Thriller, zombie makeup.
The zombie, oh yeah, like he's doing Thriller.
Yeah, you're going back Monday as a zombie. Go ahead.
Now is our salvation nearer than we believe. The night's far spent.
Right, it's near. It's near. And you got Bishop, and then he's slowly, pushing this MOTB system. Like he's talking about the digital currency now. Beginning with Apostle Hart on down, we've been talking about that. Apostle Cabal, there are plenty intentional center videos, martial law videos. I remember just coming in. This is years ago. But when everything seemed normal, the apostles been pushing that there will be militarized policing going on. We see that happening now. So it said at that point in time, go ahead.
Yep, it says, at that knowing the time, that now it is a high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Right, our salvation is near. And before we can receive the kingdom, everything here must be dismantled. We have construction, you must have destruction. I'm in the contracting business, right? Before you can even start the phase of construction, everything had to be demoed. You gotta have demolition. You demo all the old things that was there, everything that was existing. That get trashed out, and then you bring in material, and then that's when the construction is happening. But here, everything's gonna be demoed.
It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off.
What's the day? The day is the kingdom, which Yahushua he's going to bring in. Because what? The end of Esau's rulership. So we enter in a new day. Esau day is ending, and we're going to enter into a new day, and that's a kingdom. Esau is known as the star in Isaiah the 14th chapter, and Yahushua also known as the morning star, ushering a new day. That's why Yahushua is also known as the day star. That's the morning star, the morning evening star. So read that again.
It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light.
So let us put on the armor of light. And what's that armor of light is the scriptures, right? And these scriptures are armor. Because best believe, when you come into this ministry, you come into this faith, you're going to be attacked on all sides by the enemy, these demons. They're going to attack your mind. And the only things that are going to shield you from these attacks is the word. There's nothing that could defend you from these spiritual attacks but the word. You try to watch a motivational video, that's not going to work. It's the word that's going to shield you from spiritual attacks. And when the time comes, some brothers might get hemmed up, grabbed up, detained, and all you're going to have is this word.
Isaiah 59 and 50. Yea, true fearless, and he that depart from evil maketh himself a prey. Just backing up the elder brother's point, when you come into this truth, all right? Them demons, they gonna get active on you, you become a prey, because they trying to take you back out of this light and bring you back into darkness. And our only shield and our protection is this word, all right? It's telling you to put on the shield of faith, and gird up the loins, paraphrasing. So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it blocks them demons from taking you. ultimately the blood of Yahushua. Because if you're part of the elect, ain't nothing, anything that happens to you, the Lord gonna still make sure, whether you get hurt physically or whether you go back to the spirit world, you still one of the Lord. That's the point.
That's right. It's the scriptures that help you put things back in proper perspective.
Right. Yep.
Because without the scriptures, you're not. You know, you're snapped. Literally,
about that.
like,
That's the spirit.
mentally, you're snapped.
Yep.
And it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that puts you going crazy. Because if you lose your mind, that just means that demons had taken over you. But the Lord is shielding us from it. Because it's the Most High's call. You know, it's the Most High's call if that demon overtake you. And if the two, your spirit, the word is also food. You gotta nourish your spirit through the word. That's why you start feeling low in the spirit. You gotta ask yourself, have you last time you read? You know, when the last time you studied? When the last time you prayed? When the last time you did something spiritual? When the last time you fast? Because this is things that you have to do to feed your spirit. So when you don't, your spirit starts to hunger, and you start to feel weaker. To be straight, you're gonna feel weaker. You're gonna feel not like yourself. You're gonna feel less motivated. That's a symptom of you needed to feed the spirit, right?
This is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5. It says, "Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in Him."
Right. So every word of the Most High is pure, and He's a shield to them that put their trust in Him. So the main thing we take out of that is putting your trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And trust is interchangeable with faith. You can't say you trust in the Lord and not have faith. You can't say you have faith and not trust in the Lord. You know, like you're in a circumstance. Trusting in the Lord is believing that the Lord, and having faith that the Lord is going to take you out of that circumstance. No matter how difficult it may appear. You know, unto man is impossible, unto the Lord anything is possible.
Got one.
Got it.
This is Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord, Yahweh, Yahushua, is a strong tower. The righteous to it, and it's safe.
Right. So the name of the Lord is strong tower. So the name is like when we run into what is the purpose of a tower? A tower, it's a refuge. So when we run to the name of the Lord, we pray. That's a place of refuge for us. So go ahead.
Rock 34:16. "For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love Him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay, a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling, from falling."
Right, and that comes with knowing the name. You know, like I seen that video with the IUIC. It was an AI video, and it said, "Some may call me Joshua, some may say Yahushua, some may say Jesus. But what matter is keeping the commandments." Well, it's not using the correct name comprised of keeping the commandments. Because is it not contained in the same commandment to not take the name of the Lord in vain? That show you the importance of the name. You can't dismiss the name. Because the Lord put so much emphasis on the name that he set laws. Who blaspheme the name should be put to death. That's how important the name is. That's comprised within the Lord. So we want to know the name, and we stay firmly calling on the name of the Heavenly Father Yahweh through His Son Yahushua. That's it. There's no other name. Matter of fact, somebody get that and ask. There's no other name. Right.
This is Acts 4:12. It says, need salvation in any other, but there is none other name under heaven given.
There is no other name given under heaven, right? Right. So there's only one name, and that name is Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
Among men, whereby we must be saved.
Right. So you can't. There's no other name where we can be saved in, but through the name Yahweh Shah. Now, when the angel came to Mary and Joseph, he gave them a name. Read about that in Matthew, the 1st chapter. What is the name? Yahweh Shah. And when the angel gave the name Joseph and Mary, he translated the name. He said, "For you should name him Yahweh Shah, for he should save or deliver his people." That's it. He didn't give them names. He gave them a name to name the young boy.
Can I say it real quick?
Man.
This is Matthew 6 and 9, the Lord's Prayer. After this, therefore pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed means for it to be holy.
Yep.
And what's the name that the Lord that is holy? Yahweh. Go ahead.
And that was the point. The hallowed part. You know what I mean? One of the definitions you already explained it, which is to back it up a little more. It says to separate profane things and dedicate it to the Most High. His name, you know. If it's hollow, it can't be. Oh, it could be this. It could be this. It could be that. But the main thing is to keep the commandments.
Point two. That's why the Israelitish woman's son was stoned in Leviticus 24th chapter for blaspheming of the Lord, because that was a holy name. Back then, you know, he wasn't playing around with the Most High. You blaspheme the name of the Lord, you got put to death. You know, the only reason why these other camps get away with that is because we're under grace right now. Saying that you can call on the Most High anything you want. That's never been a thing. The Lord said that my name will be one in that day.
Right. And you know what, too? Like, if you ever on a job, like you meet people on the job for the first time, and you get a different response from people when you address them name.
Right, exactly.
Rather than, you know, excuse me, sir, man, but there's something about when you address a person by their name, it makes them feel like a part of something.
Right.
Because a lot of people come to your mind, the old person, it makes them feel important.
It's acknowledgement.
They like to feel acknowledged.
Yeah.
You address that person by his name, first, the only person remember my name.
Yeah.
They feel like they singled out, like they have some value. You know, but that shows, and that's just on the world spectrum. Imagine in the heaven, the name of the Most High. Somebody Google that. Why do people feel when you address them by their name at work?
You know,
So word it how you want to word it.
another point is, your name go back to your reputation. So when you hear about somebody's name, like you know that person, and then his whole reputation is going to back it. You know what I mean? You hear the name of the Most High, you know what come with that. You don't just say anything. You know what I mean?
The AI overbridge.
Well, you typed in first.
Exactly what you said.
So read your minute.
It says, why do people feel important when you address their name at work? And it says why their name at work makes them feel important because it validates their identity.
Validate their identity.
Yeah, that's it.
Because think about it, right? On a job, right? You somewhat put on one, you're dealing with everybody's you don't know them. And what it does, it surely breaks down that veil of being estranged people. It makes them feel at home.
It says shows respect and fosters personal connection in often impersonal environment.
Mm-hmm.
It says a person's name is to their sense of self. Using it signals they are seen as an individual worthy of attention.
There you go. Like sometimes I get on, right? And you kind of gotta finesse them. But part of finessing is remember people's names.
Yeah,
And like I may have to build an engineer. And sometimes we deal with the building engineer. Sometimes they assholes, and sometimes they look at you as an outsider, as a contractor. And now when I go in there, I might need a favor or two. And he told me his name is Mike, Joe, whatever. Hey, Joe. First thing, he gonna be happy when you remember his name. And then he'll be more willing to do favors for you.
Yeah.
But, excuse me, I'm Mr. Engineer. You know, you're gonna get a different response. Is it more?
Yeah, it says it transforms a transactional interaction into a human connection built and rapport.
Right. So it breaks down that, estrangement war. Even though it's still estranged, but it breaks down that barrier. So, and that's just man on earth. So if men and women, if they name matters to them, how much more the name of the Most High? And go ahead, call somebody by the wrong name. They'll about. So, God forbid you call somebody by the wrong nationality. If you see a person and you Trinidadian? No, I'm Guyanese. You call them Guyanese and they Trinidadian, they'll look at you like they're offended. Or same thing with a Puerto Rican and a Dominican. Or Dominican, black, whatever, they're gonna get offended. Or you call, you pronounce their name wrong, they be like, yo, just call me this.
Right.
If you can't pronounce it, just call me this.
I just looked it up. Even the term, like, when you say you call me out my name,
Yeah.
basically calling them out their proper identity.
Yeah. That's why Queen Latifah had so unity. Like, who you calling a bitch?
Right.
Names matter.
Yeah, names matter. Yeah, that's important.
Names matter. You call her a bitch, she's gonna be offended.
Yeah, you call her a name.
Because the names matter.
Yep.
Because your name establishes your identity.
Yep.
And in the ancient world, manifest when Ecclesiastes, I think it's check 9:7 or 8.
Good name.
Yeah, that's press. Oh, you meant?
Yeah.
It's in the first. But
7, yeah.
the name of the most back in ancient time, it wasn't just giving names, right? Your name was usually an omen nomen or a nomen omen, if I'm saying it correctly. That's what it was. It had title like the name of your house child. It's a nomen omen or omen nomen. The name of the Most High. He is. So it was an omen. So that was part of your identity. You couldn't just call him anything. Like Abraham's name was Abram. Abram, I believe, was exalted, if I'm not mistaken. And Abraham means
Father many.
Abraham means father exalted. And Abram, what